panelists. We got Teresa Dorsonville.
Okay, guys, this is our last panelist that we have. I need you guys to give the most energy for all these ladies and for the person that's coming out. If you guys are excited, if you're ready to run some raffles, let me hear you make some noise as we call out Ruby.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Sha-la-la-la-la-la.
Okay, thank you guys for the warm welcome. I hope you guys are ready for this event. We are so excited to have you here. Let me first start off by reading the bios of our wonderful ladies so you guys can get a more personal touch of who these ladies are. So first up is Crystal Vega. She is quickly becoming the voice of our generation. While building her brand from the ground up, she has proven for herself to be a force that is not to be reckoned with. Crystal has been inspired by self-sufficiency and has been characterized by her fierce work ethic. Working her way up from Sirius XM to BET as an intern, Crystal has been looked up as upon the millennial in the conference room who knows what is happening on the front lines. Crystal is now a regular media correspondent for multiple prominent platforms such as Baller Alert, BET, and Revolt, where she continues to bring her lively energy to the screens of millions. Behind the scenes, Crystal has dedicated her time to create a safe space for women to grow together in the entertainment industry. Let's give it up for Crystal.
Second, we got the beautiful, the lovely Tatiana Belami. Tatiana is a recent college graduate and the founder of the online platform Natural Born Curls. While in college, she earned her BA in journalism, BS in business, and began to create videos about college life and natural hair. Once she graduated, she created Natural Born Curls to create an opportunity to bring kinky and curly hair to the forefront, to the digital beauty platform. With over 100K followers, Natural Born Curls share hair tutorials from beauty gurus around the globe, offer natural hair tips on the blog, and even new line on apparel aimed to encourage women and men to embrace their natural curls.
Okay, next up, the next panelist I'm about to announce, you guys better give her a special shout out because she's a bloodhound, okay? Teresa Dorsonville graduated from John Jay College with a Bachelor of Arts in English and received her law degree from Penn State Law. Let's give it up for her. Yes. While Teresa was in law school, she was a senior editor of a law review journal. She held board positions with several of her law school organizations and even had the opportunity to write several motions to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Yes.
Teresa graduated law school in May of 2018 and now works as a criminal defense attorney in Long Island, New York. Aside from practicing law, Teresa loves to travel, loves a good turn up with her friends, and loves to dance a little compa from time to time. Let's give it up for Lawyer Bay.
Lastly, we got the beautiful, the talented, and the amazing Ruby Asador. Ruby is mostly known by her social media name, Lavish Ruby. As a 20-year-old college student at Keene University studying biomedicine, Ruby wears multiple hats as a cancer cell researcher, student ex-college basketball player, serial entrepreneur, and YouTuber. She is the CEO of two thriving companies. The first, the first Lavish Lengths Co., a hair extension company that specializes in affordable hair, so get your hair done, for college students, as well as Lavish Life brand, most known for the best-selling Lavish Life academic planner, so stay on schedule. A planner designed specially for academic success, which has made her more than $100,000 in revenue. So clap it up. While carrying all these hats, she manages to vlog her daily endeavors on her successful YouTube channel for her 50,000 subscribers. She uses her YouTube channel platform to encourage, empower, and inspire young women and men to live their highest potential. Her channel has racked millions of views, consisting of college-related videos, such as how to get a 4.0 in college. A series of Monday series where she teaches different money-making streams, as well as lifestyle vlogs where she shows the ins and outs of the college life balance. Give it up for Ruby Asador.
Thank you, ladies, for coming out today. We're going to get into our girl talk section because we want all the tea for this panel. Are you guys ready? Okay, so first up, I just want to ask, because when we hear the definition girl boss sometimes it can come off as an aggressive term, sometimes it can come off as someone who's handling their own, a woman who's independent. So what does a girl boss mean to you guys? I just want to hear your opinions.
We gotta go in order?
Oh man, it doesn't matter. Whoever wants to order.
Okay, I'll start. I think a girl boss is a woman who's very confident and who spearheads her goals unapologetically.
To me, a girl boss is a woman who, regardless of what life is throwing at her, she stays dedicated towards her goals. You know, like she could have like 1,000 excuses on why she can't, but she still does.
To me, a girl boss is someone who's fierce, unapologetic, because everyone's going to have something to say, but you can't care about what people are going to say. Someone who knows how to secure the bag as well.
Major key.
A girl boss to me is a girl that is self-disciplined, that knows what she wants and knows that she's going to have to work hard to get it. A girl that...
Oops, sorry about that. A girl that is intelligent and knows how to get the information that she needs to thrive in whatever she wants to do.
Okay. Great answers, ladies. So one thing you guys obviously have in common, you guys are grinding and you guys are always taking up opportunities. I follow all of you guys on your social media platforms and it seems like every day new opportunities are thriving and it's very beautiful to see. So one thing, as college students we can struggle with while we're in the grinding period, as women, of power, business, how do you guys handle relationships, whether that may be intimate relationships, your friends and your colleagues? Do you feel like they can help or hurt you while you're in your grinding period? Because, sometimes we can have haters, or people who are not supporting you, or people who are taking more than, what they need in your life. So how do you guys balance that out while you're doing your career?
That's such a heavy question. There's 20 answers there. I think when it comes to friends, college will definitely show you who your real friends are.
Yep.
For me, I'm a terrible friend. I don't like to talk to my friends every single day. So those friends who require too much attention from me, I know for me personally, those relationships weren't gonna last because I had to focus on myself and focus, on the 7 classes that I was taking one semester. So when it comes to friendships for me, I just stick to my day ones. And anybody else I meet throughout my journey, you can make friends, but realistically your day ones will always be your day ones, and I found that the best way to protect my energy. In a personal stance, I feel like, especially for women, it's so important to put yourself first. It's so important. Yeah, you can have a boo thing and stuff, but make sure you're doing what you gotta do for yourself, sis, because when he ain't there and when he is there, you wanna be good on your own. So you wanna make sure you doing what you gotta do in your classes, in your internships, do you, sis, and if he really wants to be with you, he will completely understand and he will want you to do good for yourself.
Yeah.
So I think I've been kind of lucky. I met my boyfriend back in high school, but even when I went away to college, he was here in Brooklyn, I went to Buff State, so he was still supportive. Then I did a semester in Hawaii, he was still supportive. So it's if he was a guy who was oh, where you going? Why you leaving? Then it wouldn't have worked out, but it's when somebody supports you, it's very clear, you don't have to ask somebody to do things for you and respect you over and over again. It just comes naturally. The same thing with friends. If a friend respects your grind, she's going to realize that you can't speak to her every day.
Yeah.
That when you guys have something good going on, she's going to show out. She's going to show up and show out.
Right.
So just things like that. It's all about balance. And if they respect you, then everything is good.
So to piggyback off of what you said, it's definitely all about balance. I will say, for those who want to go to law school, if you're in a new relationship, be a little wary. Because I started law school in a relationship. I started law school in August. By September, I was single. Because the person, you just don't have time a lot of times. Your first year is very, very hectic. You have a lot of classes. You're always reading. You're always in the library. You can't be boo loving all the time. It's not really possible. But if you're in a relationship already and it's, have some time under the belts, then it's a little better. It really depends on the person. Balance, balance, balance. And also in law school, you need a good support system. So your day ones, keep them close. You may not talk to them every single day, but just try not to, just try not to be, because for me in law school, I was very selfish with my time because you have to study a lot, but try not to be too rude because you need that support system, okay?
To piggyback off of what she said, you definitely have to sacrifice. There's a lot of sacrifices that you're going to have to make if you want to reach the next level. I completely agree with her with the relationship-wise. I'm not pre-law, but I'm pre-medicine, so I completely understand how hard it is to try and balance a relationship because guys are so needy, guys are so needy. But you have to be able to have that self-discipline and have them understand what you want and what you're going to do to get it. It's always nice to have a good support system, but you have to realize as well that you are going to be your biggest support. At the end of the day, if your friends fall back, if your relationship falls back, at the end of the day, it's always going to be you. So try and work as hard as you can on yourself first at all times. And then everything else will follow. The people that are meant to be in your life will come into your life. God has a way of showing exactly who is supposed to be in every part of your life at every single time. So don't worry about, honestly, I really don't worry about friendships. I don't worry about relationships. I know that each person in my life is going to be here for a season and for a reason, and then when their season is up, I'm not complaining about nothing. God got me.
Being that we're all on social media and that you guys are very successful on Instagram, Facebook, how do you react or deal with when you see other women tearing other women down? What's your response? What do you do when there's haters?
I can start off. So not on my personal page, but I run the blog Natural Born Curls. So it's a lot of people that follow it. And with that, everybody's not nice. And since I post women from around the world, men from around the world, different sexualities, different gender orientations, just different ways to style their hair, people won't like everything. People get disrespectful sometimes, And when that happens, you just delete, block. Delete, block, delete, block. You won't be commented anymore. So just leave it like that.
I feel like that's why I didn't have an answer. What do you really say to people who are hating? You don't say nothing because you don't pay attention to them.
They get more mad.
Yeah, you don't know. They don't pay your bills, and their opinions ain't gonna pay your bills either. So it doesn't matter.
That's what I was gonna say. If you're not writing my check, I don't really care what your opinion is at the end of the day.
I agree with everybody. Honestly, it comes down to self-confidence first. If you have confidence in yourself, there's nothing anybody can tell you about yourself that you don't already know. So you're not going to take anything more than a grain of salt. So.
Okay, so a good point that you guys always brought up is about having a good support system, having good friends, good family. So I would say in the careers that you guys are in, it's definitely important, whether it may be family or having that good friend that you can call when things are tough. When you think of the recent success that you guys have been through, graduating school, about to graduate school, being in the career that you've always wanted and desired, who do you owe to your success, and who are those people or support systems that has helped you through your journey? A lot of times I feel when you're at a stage, sometimes people could make it seem like you're self-made, but they don't talk about the backstory of who helped them. So I just would like you guys to talk about that.
I'll start. I definitely owe my success to my mother. She's definitely been through everything with me. She's the one person I can call at any time if I have any issues. She might not know exactly what to do because she doesn't she doesn't have a business or anything like that, but she's just always a lending hand to me. She's always an ear to listen to, and then obviously God is always there. So if I ever have issues, I always reach to God first and pray about it. That's basically, because I feel in college, of course, you're gonna have your friends, but everybody's on their own mission, So I try not to stress my friends out.
with my own issues, because a lot of the times they don't really get it, you know, like a lot of people don't have the same mindset as you, so they don't really understand, like, oh, I'm gonna be up until 5 o'clock in the morning working on this business plan. They're not gonna understand. They're just gonna be like, why don't you just go to sleep? Like, it's not, everybody doesn't have the same mindset, so you can't really like force it on other people to understand where you're coming from. So I just leave it to God almost, I wanna say 99% of the time, and He makes a way, so, yeah.
Hallelujah.
I'll go next. Also, me, God, 100%. Honestly, I could not, I wouldn't have done it without God, period. Period. My mom, number 2, my sister, my big sister came to support me, and my close friends, really, I wouldn't have done it without any of them.
For me, it's my mom. She was right here. I don't see her anymore. She went somewhere. Oh, no, somewhere over there. But there she is, okay. She is so supportive of me, always calling me in college to make sure I'm good, sending me like little goodie bags with snacks and things like that. Today, I missed a train. I live in Long Island. So you know when you miss that Long Island Railroad, the next one doesn't come in an hour. So she drove me over here today in the traffic in Manhattan. So if anything, it's always, man, I called her Monday crying. Who was listening to me? She was telling me to calm down. Everything's gonna work out, you know, she'll be there for you. She's always there for me. So hopefully you guys have somebody in your life, even if it's a friend, if it's your mom, somebody who just supports you. And you might not even know it, because a lot of times, especially when you're growing, there are people out there rooting for you that you don't even know.
Yep.
Somebody in your class sees you grinding, she's rooting for you, you know?
Yeah.
Social media, I meet so many people on social media who are supportive. Yeah, and it's just like, wow, like it's really crazy that there are people out there that really wish you the best. So even if the people around you are negative, you know, just don't have good vibes, there's somebody out there. Just keep that in your mind, you know?
Can you repeat the question for me really fast?
Okay, so it's just basically who's your support system that's helped you to the journey that you are now?
Of course, God, friends, but I think myself. I was always like my own support system mentally, and making sure like that I was good, because I'm a very independent person. So I tried not to weigh on people too much, and just focus more on myself and my mind, because I feel like your mind is a very powerful thing, and as long as you train it right and you talk to yourself nicely, you are your biggest support system.
That's a good question. Okay, on to our next question. So I know that there's a lot of debate, I would say, like in college, whether it talks about like guys' preferences, whether they like girls who are natural, or they like girls with makeup, or they like girls with short hair or long hair, thick girls, slim girls, skinny girls, whatever girls, right? We hear a lot of perceptions of what society may think, or what's popping, or what males may think, or what social media would think, or what the shade room may post. So how do you guys maintain your sanity, your self-image? You know, sometimes, you know, you could feel like cute one day and then sometimes you're not. So how do you guys like deal with that, especially with like the fluctuating ways of what beauty could look like? So how do you guys deal with those type of stereotypes?
No, you can go.
I feel like a guy's opinion or a guy's view on beauty has nothing to do with me, because at the end of the day, I wake up knowing that I look beautiful. Like I don't need anybody else to tell me. Like it comes down from self-confidence to the highest potential. Like you can't, people have different views of beauty every year. Like before it was big foreheads, before it was like literally every year.
When I missed that wave, ain't nobody like my forehead.
2009, big foreheads, no makeup, wigs and weaves. Like honestly, at the end of the day, like I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna know what I like at the end of the day, so it really doesn't affect me in any type of way. I'm gonna still wear my long hair, my long lashes, my long nails. If you like short nails, stay away from me. If you don't, if you don't like wigs, weaves, you don't like. It has nothing to do with me. You know, like I know who I am at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, because social media just pressures us every single day, and it's important to make sure that you're not looking at the wrong pages too consistently, because then you really start to consume, you know, this idea of beautiful, and sis is just Facetune in her face, and you really don't know what these people look like, but you're looking at them so much, you're starting to think that, oh my God, these people are beautiful. Also, confidence, like you said, like self-confidence is everything. A girl could have on a Rainbow or Fashion Nova, and you would never know because she's so confident. I just think that with social media, you just have to be careful on what you consume, because it's unrealistic to say, like, you're not gonna look at somebody and feel like, damn, she's mad pretty, like I wanna look like her. So you just gotta be careful and talk to yourself nicely.
Yeah, like I really like what she said about like watching who you watch on social media, you know? There's some people who are beautiful, you know, who their body is perfect and everything, and maybe you would like to follow them, but it's not protecting your energy, you know? It's making you feel bad about yourself. Stop following them, you know? So some people are good, like some people, they might face tune, you know, they might get work done, but if they're honest about it, that, at least personally, is better for me to consume, because I know it's like, all right, I know what she's really like. I just appreciate authenticity on social media so much. So I think just like remembering that, like everything you see isn't what's real life. All right, so just keep that in mind.
You guys said everything I wanted to say, but to kind of add, you just have to love yourself unconditionally. And it seems like it's really simple, but like really sit. Like after law school and everything, and I had nothing like occupying my time, I was like, all right, let me just sit in a dark room and think, do I love myself? If no one else in this world loves me or thinks I'm pretty, will I think I'm pretty? You have to get to that point where the answer is yes. Then you won't care what anyone has to say. You're just loving yourself unconditionally. If beauty is this one day and then it's this the next day, if you still think you're beautiful, that's all that matters.
And it might sound like we're saying it like it's easy. I know a lot of people do struggle with it, but it definitely comes from mindset first. Like you have to really just take time with yourself, understand yourself before you can do anything forward.
And really tell yourself you popping every day.
Every day, don't miss
Yes,
one. You know?
every morning. Look
No,
in the
for
mirror.
real, like literally, like looking in the mirror and affirming yourself every morning.
Affirmations is
Give yourself a week and you can feel like Beyonce, for real.
Yes.
Okay, so the world have continuously put women of color down in regards to like their hair textures, whether their skin tone. What I want to know, or what we want to know, is do you feel like you ever been discriminated against within your career or your university, anywhere? Like, can you share an experience?
I'll go first. Well, I don't know if you guys know, but the legal field is a white male's profession. It's not diverse at all. I went to Penn State Law. I was in my graduating class. Everyone who graduated, I was one of 7 minorities, not black people, but minorities in my class. So I face it every single day. And Penn State is in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. So it's Penn State and then just Amish country. There's really nothing around there. So you find people from different parts of the country who've never seen black people, who don't know how to deal with black people. You face it every day. At my job now, my boss, I love my job, but she's a little racist, and you just feel it every single day. So you're gonna face it. You just have to like learn how to go about it, you know, like how to still carry yourself on, because I need this job. I'm not gonna go off every time she says something crazy, but you'll absolutely face it, absolutely.
So I think I could relate a little bit just when it comes to like classes in school. Like many of you still in college, I went to Buff State, and when I went to Buff State, I thought it was like a HBCU, you know, almost, but for New York. And so I was like, you know, this is the closest I'm gonna get. So, but then when I went into a lot of my like honors classes, I realized I was like the only black person there. I was the only black girl there, and I was just like the only girl with like natural hair. Like, it's just annoying, and it's really annoying, but it's kind of fun when people underestimate you, because it's just like, sis, like I got a better grade than you in this class. Like, who you trying? So that's just, I know that kept me like really going a lot. Maybe, you know, that's not the most pure way to, you know, be motivated, but it helped me. So that was always fun.
Yeah, definitely with me. I feel like it's similar with a lot of colleges, especially if you're at a PWI, like it's bound to happen where you're the only minority, the only black person. At my university, I got into the STEM program at my school. It was only 26 students that got in a freshman year, and I was the only black person, and I felt it every time I walked into the room, every single class. Like, they're like, oh, because like, not only am I black, but like, I'm also not the typical, like, STEM nerd, you know? Like, the people in my class were different, so they looked at me differently because I was different, you know? So I just had to I feel like we all have to just make sure that we are the best representation of a black girl or a black guy out there, you know? Like, I made sure that I put in my best foot forward for every class. I was working as hard as I could. I did everything that I was supposed to do, and at the end of the year, like at the end of the 4 years, I'm one of, it was 26 when we started. It's only 15 people now that made it through 4 years, and I ended up having the highest GPA. So thank you. Yeah, so I'm currently the face of the biomedicine program at my university, and it's the first time in, I believe, 13 years that a black girl graduated as a biomedicine student. So.
I have to be very honest. I feel like I'm privileged in this area a little bit because being born and raised in New York City, there's just so many different people here. So I never really experienced it here until I actually went away to school, and I was only, in Cortland, which is like right before Syracuse. I'm surprised you guys even know about it because it's like this big.
Yeah.
But I only really experienced like being stereotyped when I went away to school, and then I realized like, wow, we are living in the 21st century and still people stereotype and like there's racism and stuff. But for me, like, because I was born and raised in New York City, I didn't experience it as much.
So one question that I have for you guys is, you guys speak a lot about your growth in your journey. So has your identity been challenged as you transition from a young lady to a woman? A lot of times we have different ways of what event or what signifies to you when you became a woman. So how did your identity kind of compete with that transition?
I think for me, my identity is like more competed against when it comes to like my ethnicity, because I'm Puerto Rican and black, so both sides always feel like I'm never enough, but I'm everything. So I feel like that's been like the biggest challenge for me, especially in media where they like to put people in boxes. So they're like, okay, cool, we need like a Spanish girl who speaks Spanish, not me. We need a black girl who's like really dark skinned, I'm like, not me. And then they're like, okay, so who's left? And I'm like, me. So I feel like I deal with that way more in my career and stuff. Like trying to like fit into a box that I don't really fit into more than anything.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Okay, it was a lengthy question, but it was just basically about your identity and your transition from being like a young lady into a woman. Whatever that means to you, how has your identity changed, shifted, or like you mentioned, or how did you know when you became a woman in that sense?
For me, like, I've just always been good at school. So, like, school was my thing. Like, get straight A's, then boom, that's all you have to worry about. Just get straight A's, get straight A's. And then I graduated, so it was like, what do I do now? Like, this is the thing I've been good at for all these years, and now I gotta find something else I'm good at, So people say, oh yeah, go to grad school, but for me personally, I was doing business and journalism, and I know for me it would have been better for me to get hands-on experience. And so I was just like, wow, so especially making the decision to work for myself and build my own brand, it was just moving from like a young woman who was being told when her deadlines were, who was being told what classes to go to or like how to maneuver her way through college and things like that, to making all my own rules myself. Like deciding what hours I want to work, deciding how far I want to get. Like if I want to get paid this much money, I'm the one who has to make that business plan, So it was just like really having my whole like future in my own hands. So that was my transition.
I feel like with me, I feel like my identity is still changing. I feel like I still wake up every day trying to learn something new, and my mindset has always been like just to work hard, and I feel like with that mindset, it's always another level for you, Like I feel like I haven't reached that peak yet. Obviously, I'm still in college and stuff like that, but I feel like there's really no end point in growing. Like I don't feel like it's girl to woman and then that's it, Like I feel like it's girl and then girl 0.5, girl 0.6, 0.7, Like it's always like another level up. So definitely don't think that I've reached my woman self yet, but I'm just like always on that strive to just being the best person I can be and bettering myself as a whole, like in every aspect of life.
I kind of agree. I don't think I've finished growing, because at first I kind of related to you a little bit. Like I was always in school. I went straight from undergrad to law school, and then I was just always in school. And now I've been out of school for like 7, maybe like 10 months, and I'm just like, I don't like, what am I don't know, like who am I kind of sort of thing. So I'm kind of finding this balance between like, okay, being a lawyer, being conservative, but then still wanting to live my life and enjoy my 20s. So I'm still kind of on the process of finding my identity, I guess.
Okay, as you guys know, like every year, everyone says new year, new me. We have different goals that we set and things that we want to plan out for ourselves. So my question to you guys is, what is one unconventional life change that you've made so far in 2019?
New Year, say me. I don't know. Y'all want to go? Because I don't.
Say it again.
What is one unconventional life change that you made in 2019?
I talked about this on my channel like earlier this year, but I just wanted to work on my relationship with God more. I've always had a relationship with God, but like I feel like being Nigerian, it's kind of like instilled in you, but I wanted to have my own separate relationship with God that's not forced on me, you know? So I made it a duty of mine to start reading my Bible more and just like learning the verses, learning the different books of the Bible and stuff like that. And it was just a different personal relationship that I wanted to get. And aside from that, I mean, like resolutions are kind of weird, you know, but I just always have goals, and it's just like doing well in school. I'm graduating next month, thank God. Thank you. And then like thriving with my business, like growing my business, starting new business endeavors. So those are just a couple of goals that I have right now, and then growing my YouTube channel and being consistent. So.
It's a few, but kind of like she said, like it's not. I don't take it as a new year, new me type of thing. I really like try to have the mindset that every single day is a day to be a step closer to whoever I want to be. Like it's a day that I can make whole new goals if I want to, you know. So I just really take it day by day. But one thing that was on my list is to just travel more. So I already went once. I went to DR, but I have a few trips like planned for later on this year. So that's one thing. Also to start a travel blog. So I love Natural Born Curls, but travel is also my other passion. And just being consistent. Consistency is key to like everything in life. So growing up, I've always been like a procrastinator. So now being able to consistently put time in every single day has definitely been a challenge, but I'm glad I'm working on it, you know?
Yeah. I absolutely hate New Year's and like New Year, new me motto. But one thing that, I feel like my family would find this more unconventional is like, I'm like cutting out certain things from my diet, and I was raised with my Puerto Rican family, so we eat like pernil, you know, during the holidays, and like we eat pork and stuff. So like I told my grandfather I'm cutting out pork. He was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's like actually not good for you." So I'm more focusing on like what I'm actually like intaking and stuff like that.
I don't know, man. I don't know what change. I would just say, being that I'm just working, I'm out of school, I've been trying to like pick up new hobbies. I'm trying to focus on myself more, take this little journey to know myself and all that good stuff. I've been going to the gym more, you know, trying to live this fit life. I don't know. Yeah. Setting goals for the summer, Beyonce Body 2019. But yeah, just like, you know, getting to know myself more, focusing on myself. I guess that's it.
We want to know, if you were given 1 month of your busy life to do whatever you desire, what would it be? What would you do? What would you hope to do?
I would sleep. I would sleep the entire month because I am tired. But other than that, like I would travel, you know, just make fun or have fun experiences. Because like with busy, like having so many things to do, like on a day-to-day basis, it's stressful. Like you guys know it's stressful with college in general. Like just college by itself is stressful. But then having college and then running businesses and then being like consistent on YouTube, it's a lot of work. So I would just have a vacation, a whole month vacation, and just sleep half the time, and then do some fun little experiences.
I'd probably travel a lot. I love to travel, and I haven't had the chance to travel as much as I've wanted to. So I would travel everywhere.
So let's just add on to that, like if money was no like concern, you know? So I would definitely go to Southeast Asia, you know? A month, you get to go hit all the hot spots, you know, Thailand, Bali, like everything over there. Because, you know, that flight is expensive. So once you get there, you stay in there for the whole month.
Right.
So that's what I would do.
I'd probably rip my hair out first because I'm such a workaholic, so like doing nothing would make me go crazy. I would have major anxiety, so I would probably have to go to like Asia or something and go on a major meditation camp. I think that would be fire.
So we're going to go into some individual questions for you guys. Just based on your backgrounds, this is just a couple of questions that some of our members have asked us, and we want to share that with you. So Teresa, as a John Jay grad, a lot of us are very supportive and just like, very enthusiastic about your law school journey, especially going to John Jay. A lot of us are aspiring lawyers. So do you feel like John Jay prepared you for the rigors of law school from your experience? Does our school support?
Yes. Do you guys still have the Pre-Law Institute here? I'm sure you do. Yes? Okay. Do that. Do the pre-law boot camp. Ask a lot of questions. I feel like I was a little shy when I was at John Jay, so I didn't really ask too many questions. Ask questions. Find lawyers or law students on Instagram and stalk them. Ask them questions. Slide in their DMs. John Jay was definitely supportive, though. The professors were really, really supportive. The fact that it's such a law-based school gave me a real leg up on law school. Most of the professors went to law school. Some of them were lawyers. And something I was telling the board, for those who are taking the LSAT or graduating soon, look into the Sidley Pre-Law Scholarship. I found that, look it up, type it in your phone, say the name. The Pre-Law Institute sent that to me, and then that basically paid for my whole law school application process.
Say it again.
Because I still know I pull out their phone. Sidley, S-I-D-L-E-Y, Pre-Law Scholarship. They pay for your LSAT prep course, the LSAT exam. They pay for, they pay for all your law school applications. They send you with a scholarship to law school. They fly you out to Chicago, give you a little pre-law seminar thing. It's great. So take advantage of all the scholarships, even ones that you think you may not qualify for, because I didn't think I qualified, but I got it. So apply to scholarships and ask questions.
Okay. So what is one misconception that people have about law school students that isn't true?
People say that law students can't have a social life, and that's not true. I grew up Seventh-day Adventist Christian, so I never did work on the Sabbath, so I would always take Friday night to Saturday night off, and then I would just take the whole day Saturday off, so I would never do anything. Saturday night I would go out. You have to balance, definitely, because all work and no play makes for, what's the end of it, a dull day? I don't know. But, but no, seriously, you have to have a balance, because you're going to drive yourself crazy if you're just studying. Literally, you're in the library all the time. Some people treat it like a job, so they study or they go to school from 9 to 5, and then after that, they watch TV, they read, they go to the gym. I would work during the week, and then I would take the weekends off. So travel, if you go away for law school, go home, see your family, because it's a very hard time. You get depressed, you have anxiety. So definitely balance. It's not impossible to do. You can have a social life in law school.
Just one last question. Would you encourage aspiring lawyers to take a law school gap year?
I think it depends on the person. You can't work in law school, or it's highly recommended that you don't. Some law schools say that you can't. I know Hofstra, you could work a max of 10 hours a week or something like that. So if you have a family, if you have kids, or you feel like you have a lot of responsibilities that you'll need to take care of during law school, take that gap year to work. But when you're taking the gap year, you can't just be, not doing anything to prepare you for law. Get an internship at a law firm or something like that. You have to be doing something productive so the law schools can see that you're not just taking a year and watching Netflix. Some people, it's better to go straight into it. Statistically, they say older people do better in law school because they have more life experiences. So it just really depends on the person. If it's better for you, then do it. If not, don't do it because everyone else is doing it. Don't do it. I mean, some people say they took a gap year to travel, but then on your application you have nothing in that year. It's just you doing nothing. So it depends.
Okay. Our next questions are going to Crystal. Crystal, you mentioned in your bio that you started off as an intern at BET, and now you're doing segments like BET Breaks and other well-known companies. So can you talk about your transition from being an intern and getting the position that you always wanted?
Yeah, so I was interning with them for almost a year in different departments, and it was just literally like a whole big finesse. Like I went from one department, I started working for the president's assistant, and then from there I went to the news department, but I already knew I wanted to be a host, and I knew that I wanted to do something like more music-based. So from the news department, I went to the music department, and when I got there, thankfully I had a supervisor who was all about, interns getting what they deserved or what they wanted from the internship, which is super important. If you have a supervisor who kind of like just wants you to go get coffee all day, you're gonna have a terrible experience. But as an intern, when you sign up for that, like, you gotta do your job. So when it came to a time that I started like expressing that I wanted to be on camera, my boss knew that I was responsible enough to take care of my responsibilities at the desk first, but also was like, okay, cool, like, let me give you this opportunity, let me introduce you to the producer of the show. So I think it's important when you intern, yes, have a bigger picture of what you want to do, but also make sure you're taking care of your business that's right in front of you.
Okay. Another thing too, a lot of times in media, you're given a script of what you need to say in front of the camera. So we were just a bit curious, has it been hard, I guess, when stories that you're sharing or people that you interview with, when it comes to your own personal beliefs or opinions to certain topics? Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, well, thankfully, with BET, I get to write my own scripts for the most part, and yeah, so I get to like speak in my own voice and say how I feel. Granted, like, some things I want to say that I can't say because obviously I'm working for a major network. But if there's something I don't like that's being said, I'm not going to say it. I don't care who tells me I have to say it, because at the end of the day, when you're on camera, it's your face that people attach with it. So like, if something goes wrong and there's a controversial situation happening, if you're the one performing that, people automatically think that it came from you. So thankfully, I don't really have to deal with that where I work, but it's definitely a thing, and I think that if anybody ever experiences something where they're being told to like do something that they don't want to do and they don't believe in, you should definitely say no, because at the end of the day, it's a reflection of who you are, not who told you to do it.
That is a good one.
So transitioning to Tatiana, our natural hair is very important to us. We want to know how to style it. We want to know how to care for it. What was your inspiration behind Natural Born Curls?
So I'm gonna try and make it short. I first went natural in high school. I've been like stalking the online natural hair YouTubers and community since high school. Senior year. And I experimented in college, and then when I graduated college and I was like, what do I do? I was like, you know what, let me really just get into being a full-time influencer, a content creator. And I went to networking events and things like that, but I wasn't growing like I wanted to. So those two things, and then also I have a friend from college, and we both were talking about natural hair pages, and we realized this shift from high school to college where it went to really promoting like kinkier and afro hair textures and showing tutorials like that, to really promoting and praising like looser curl textures. And just that whole shift was really, like, sometimes it was disappointing when you're looking for hairstyles and you can't find anything for yourself. So those two things made me want to start Natural Born Curls, because one, I wanted to promote my own videos. And if I had this platform, I could do it whenever I want to. And then two, I really wanted to kind of bring that shift back of keep on praising and showcasing all the beauty of every type of curl pattern. The kinky, the 4C girls out there, the dark skin 4C girls, dark skin 3C girls, just really bringing diversity. And I was so happy one time when I did a poll, and about 95–96% of people said that they felt represented on my page. And this is people from around the world, So I was like, oh my God, like, I'm really making an impact. I'm really doing things, and it just really keeps on motivating me when people DM saying like, oh my God, like, I really love your page, like, oh my God, that girl has the same exact hair texture as me, like, I can do this exact hairstyle, so things like that is what got me started and what keeps me going.
Interesting. What advice would you give to future social media influencers, those who are interested in following your path?
So I spoke on this a little bit before. I have my personal page, T Bellamy, and then I have Natural Born Curls. I've been having T Bellamy for a while, but I've never been consistent until like not today. So I've never been consistent. And then I have Natural Born Curls, and it was just really fun finding all these tutorials of girls and guys from around the world and seeing like how creative people can really be. And I realized I was so passionate about just really finding crazy different ideas and sharing it. And so it was really fun. At first, like I wasn't getting paid at first. It was just like so much fun. And then it really started growing because I was posting like 9 times a day on Natural Born Curls. So one, consistency is key. Then you have to also pick your niche and do some research on it too. So whether you're gonna do makeup or fashion, you gotta find out what the trends are and then see how you can bring something personal to each and every trend that you see whenever you can. So consistency, really being engaged in your niche, finding maybe like some people that you aspire to be or people who are like on your same level and just really creating genuine connections with them. So I think those 3 things are really good. If you guys have any questions about it, just DM me and we could talk, So.
Well, thank you for that. So we're going to move on to Ruby, and then afterwards we're going to open up the questions to the audience. So if you have any questions, keep them in your head, because we're going to get to that segment soon. But Ruby, your situation is very unique as a college student about to graduate, being a pre-med, and also being an entrepreneur. So I think the biggest question that everybody will always ask you is how do you balance all of that? Because, that is a lot, especially the standards that you hold yourself to. And what motivation tips can you give to us, regular college students who are just, struggling with just what we have now and not everything that you're doing?
I feel like with everything, it always comes down to self-discipline. If you know what you want to do, there's nothing that can take it away from you. I know that I want to be successful in everything that I do, and that's why I put a specific amount of time for what I want to do throughout my day. I'll wake up in the morning, and there's a lot of sacrifices as well. Like, I sacrifice sleep. It's not the same for everybody, but coffee is there. Like, people be acting like coffee is not there, coffee works. So I'll wake up in the morning at around like 6 o'clock, and I'll work on my business or my YouTube channel. And then I'll do that until I have class at 9. And then I'm in class all day, and then I have research. I'm doing cancer cell research, so that takes like a lot of time throughout the day. But it all just comes down to planning. Like, I plan out my days the day before, and that is my busy lifestyle is what made me create the Lavish Life brand planner. So the Lavish Life planner is an academic planner specifically designed for academic success, and it has a whole bunch of different key features of the planner. And one thing that I really use is a habit tracker. I don't know if any of you guys know what a habit tracker is. Yeah, so do you have a bullet journal? Okay, yeah, so I use a bullet journal because I couldn't find a planner that best fit my needs. A bullet journal is basically a random notebook where you draw out everything that you need. So I had a bullet journal, and it was just a lot of work creating the pages every month. And I was just like, listen, I don't have time to do this anymore. And then also, I would create the bullet journals, and then I'll record me flipping through the pages to show my subscribers. And everybody would be asking me to make them a bullet journal. I'm like, I could barely make myself a bullet journal. So I decided that kind of stemmed the creation of the Lavish Life planner. So I took an online InDesign course, and I learned how to create a planner. And that obviously is from self-discipline and self-confidence that I'll be able to do it, because it's not every day where you hear somebody creating a planner. And honestly, it all comes from mindset first. If you have the mindset that you can really do anything that you want to do, there's nothing that can stop you. Literally nothing. So I just know that I have a whole bunch of things that I want to do. I just set up a plan. Going back to the habit tracker, I'm sorry. But the habit tracker, basically on the left side of it, for example, it'll be a list like this of the habits that you want to make sure that you get done every day. And then on the top, it'll have days 1 through 30 or 1 through 31. And for each habit that you do, you check it off. So these are the habits that you want to make sure that you do every single day. On my habit tracker, for example, it will say, wake up at 6 a.m., read my Bible, work on my business planner, work on the YouTube planner, because I'm creating multiple planners for the future, edit a video, film a video, email. It depends on your specific schedule. For example, if you're pre-law, you'll probably have study for so-and-so hours every day. Make sure that you are reaching out to different, you guys have internships? Okay, yeah, so make sure you reach out to different internships. If you're reaching out to 2 internships a day, it depends on your specific schedule and what you want to do each day. So that's what I use to make sure that I'm on track with everything, because it's easy for you to forget to check your emails. And with me, like, my emails is where my money comes from. As a YouTuber, you have promotions, you have sponsorships that you have to go through. If I don't check my email for a week, I'm missing out on a week's worth of money, you know? So you just have to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to progress in life every single day, and consistency is key. You are as consistent, you are as successful as your daily routines. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you for that, Ruby. One other thing that I know that you've mentioned a lot on your social media platforms that you're taking a gap year. So do you have any upcoming business ventures or projects that you're working on during that year while you're preparing for med school?
So I'm just working on just excelling in my businesses. So we have the second launch of the Lavish Life Academic Planner coming up in June. So that's like a big thing. Like, you guys, creating a planner, like, my planner company grew so much higher than I ever expected it to. So people have been emailing me, when is the planner coming out? When is the pre-launch? Mind you, the planner doesn't start until August. It's a academic planner from August to July. People have been asking me when the next planner is coming out since January. I'm like, you're not even able to use it until August, so I don't understand what the problem is. But I, like, literally, my emails is crazy, but it really is, like, but like, people have been emailing me about it, DMing me about that, so I'm just working on that, and then trying to scale it as much as I can, because I want it to be big, you know, like, I have big dreams for my businesses. And as of right now, like, people that, like, I see my planner being used on my college campus and they don't know that I'm the creator of it, which is crazy to me. So I'm just working on just making it as big as I can make it, and just learning from different mentors and stuff like that. With the gap year, my gap year is specifically for medical school. So I'm working on my MCATs, and then I'm working at a hospital. So I'm working as a surgical tech. So that's gonna be like another, like, people think that gap year means like I'm taking a break. Gap year means I'm working 10 times harder to get to the next step. But what else am I doing during my gap year? I would like to say I'm traveling, but I'm probably not gonna travel. But yeah, that's basically it. Just working on my businesses, making it grow, and studying for the MCATs. That's basically it.
Okay. Well, can we give it up for our panel? I don't know about you guys, but I'm feeling very motivated. I feel like I want to start a business, a YouTube channel, and an Instagram all in one. But we're going to transition, because I know a couple of you guys are anticipating our natural hair tutorial. Before we get to that, we'd just like to open the floor for 3 questions, only because of time. And there'll definitely be time if you want to speak to the panelists personally after the event. But if you have 3 questions, we'll take that. I saw your hand first, so we'll go to you. Can you stand up? Ask your question.
So I actually kind of have 2, but I'll say for one. A lot of the issues specifically with Black women, and I'm a pretty well student, is hair. And I just want to know how exactly you manage in all fields, how your hair looks, what your appearance is, who you're speaking to, like, how do you go about your daily hair routine without, I don't want to say offending, because you should never feel disgraceful about your hair, but you do have to look a certain way. How do you go about doing that?
So being that the legal field is like a conservative field, which I don't agree with, because if I want to rock my hair natural, I feel like I should. It's not fair. I relax my hair. I've been doing it since I was like 13, so it's kind of different for me. But I will say, some days I wash my hair and I braid it and I just leave it out curly. The judges will look at me different, you know? Like, you get that kind of vibe. But you should always never be afraid to be yourself. It sucks because sometimes you may miss like an opportunity. There may be a boss that doesn't like it, so she's not going to send you to this client or whatever the case is. But it sucks. Like, there's no way to sugarcoat it. I've seen colleagues who are natural, who opportunities are passed up because their appearance, their hair isn't tamed or whatever, which is crazy. But I would just say it grows out of my head curly. It's going to be curly when I go to court. It's going to be curly when I go to work. If it offends you, there's nothing I can say about that.
Is there another hand for a question? Okay, in the back. Can you speak up?
Man, okay, so I don't know if you guys heard, but Kim K she's not going to law school. She's gonna be a lawyer without going to law school. She didn't finish college. I was actually looking up on this. So in California, you don't have to go to law school to take the bar exam, which is why California has such low bar passage rates. It's true, like it sucks. But anyways, so if you look at the California Bar website, it says you need some college work in order to do this apprenticeship that she's doing. She said she had like 60 credits and you need 75. I guess I don't know how, but that's
60 credits.
yeah, that's considered college work, so therefore she's doing this apprenticeship. I look at it two ways. She's doing something better. Hopefully she's doing it to help others. I'm sure she is. But so the way the California Bar did it, just to give you guys a little history and to be a little quick, it was made for people who couldn't afford law school, because law school is expensive. Undergrad, if you go to undergrad and you go to law school with no scholarships at all, you're coming out with $300,000 debt. Average debt is $250 for law students. So that tool that California did, you can get some college, so basically you have like an associate's, a bachelor's or whatever, and then you could work for 4 years while you're earning money studying for the bar exam if you can't afford law school. Because if, for example, if you're not a citizen, you're not getting financial aid, you're not getting loans, you can do it this way. Kim Kardashian doesn't need to do it this way because she has all the money in the world. She can afford law school 10,000 times over. She can afford to pay for all of our tuitions and our kids' tuitions. She doesn't need it. So I feel like the fact that she's using this way, and she's saying, oh, it's perfectly legal, it is, but Kim, you're kind of sort of just being lazy by doing it that way. You can go to law school. Shout out to her because she's doing something better. She's getting a law degree. Her dad was a lawyer, so I'm sure she wants to live up to that legacy. That's great. But I mean, I hope she does it. I hope it's well, but the bar is no joke, especially California bar, so yeah.
Is there one more question? Oh, okay. Oh.
It's like three.
Last question. Okay, I'll go to you first, and then I'll take you. Yes, you're after her, and then that was the last question.
For Ruby specifically, because I'm a female student,
Okay.
how do you deal with feeling discouraged as a female student? What keeps you going? And how do you know that medical school is for you? Like, are you doing it out of, because I'm getting pressures from like my background, like Caribbean or African background, to do it as lawyer, doctor, or
Engineer.
whatever. So, how do you know that medical school is for you, and what keeps you going with that?
To answer the first question, when you get discouraged, like, you have to understand where the discouragement is coming from. There are so many different ways, pre-law or pre-med, like, the coursework can be discouraging. Like, you can see your classmates. I don't know how it is here. Is it like well, do you go here? No. Okay. But at John Jay, is it like all pre-law or? Okay. I was confused. I was like, wow, there's a lot of pre-law students.
It's mostly.
Okay. So with like pre-law, pre-med, like with every major, you're going to find discouragement, but you have to really look and see like what the main purpose of starting was. Like, never lose focus of why you started. And to answer your second question, I started because I always knew I wanted to be a doctor. Like, before Instagram, before YouTube, before business, I knew that I wanted to help people one day. I knew what kind of doctor I wanted to be. I want to be an orthopedic doctor. I want to help athletes. I want to be a sports doctor. So I've always had that in the back of my head that I want to work for a sports team one day. I want to help. I want to fix the ACLs. I want to do I want to do everything. You know what I mean? Like, I knew what I wanted to do when I started. And having that in the back of your head, when you're taking your organic chemistry, when you're taking your biochemistry, knowing that, and knowing also that people are doing it also, like, there are people that are in the same spot as you that can do it, there's no reason why you can't do it too. You know, like, there's a Nigerian saying, I don't know if there's any Nigerians here, but do they have, what is the saying, hold on. My dad used to say, do they have two heads? You know, like, if they can do it, why can't you? Do they have two heads? Do they have two brains? You know, you guys, like, we all come from the same struggle. You know, we're all college students. We're all working hard. Some people are able to balance it easier. Some people are able to study easier. Some people grasp information easier. But it all comes from knowing what you want to do and knowing that you're going to do whatever it takes. Studying more, studying more. There's different strategies to college. I know that you guys know this, but going to office hours, you can beat up your teachers, you know what. So there's a whole bunch of different extra stuff that you can do. Emailing your teacher on a regular basis, that's one thing I do just to make sure that I'm on top of all my work. Knowing that I do want to get an A in the class. There's a whole bunch of different strategies. I have a video on my channel, How to Get a 4.0. You watched it? Okay. But listen, it really does work. Like, knowing what you want and knowing that you'll do whatever it takes is the biggest driving force. Was that all the answers? Okay.
I'm sorry about that question, but we're running a little bit on time, so just to respect everyone's, we'll get back to that though. However, is everyone excited for a raffle? Because we're going to give away our first raffle ticket. Does everyone have one? Make sure you take those tickets out. But with everything in life, it is not free. Whoever wins, we have, whoever wins, the DJ is going to play some music and you have to come up and do a dance. So, if that is your raffle, you're going to have to dance for it. You're going to have to dance for it. Everyone's like, whoa, 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 I hope it's not my ticket. Come on, guys, don't be shy. Can you put on some music to encourage everybody? Who's feeling lucky? We're about to call out a number. Does everyone have their raffle tickets out? Okay. Who's feeling lucky?
Well, that was easy.
Got my theme song over here.
Okay, and the number is, I hope you're ready, 3, 7, 9, 0, 6.
Oh, man.
4, 1.
No, they just don't want to dance. They're lying.
No? Going once, going twice. Okay. Next person. Next raffle, 3, 7, 9, 0, 6, 0, 1.
Y'all are in here. You just
Nobody? Wow. Oh, you that's your ticket? You ready to dance for it? Play some music. Oh, you're not gonna dance?
Blueface, baby.
If we give it again.
Bust down, Tatiana.
No, she's not gonna dance.
Yeah, I want to see you bust down. Bust down, Tatiana. Bust down, Tatiana.
It's okay.
I want to see you bust down. Pick it up, now break that shit down. Break it down, speed it up, then slow that shit
It's
down.
okay.
Slow it down, bust it.
She was a little shy, guys. We'll let her rock. But we are going to move along with the program, and we're going to call up Neptune's Quest as she does her live natural hair demo. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to call up more raffles, guys. Don't worry. I know I saw everyone's face. We're going to do it after the segment. Calm down. Okay, yeah, you can take the chair and you can put it in. Can we get some music, DJ?
We gon' start this thing alright. You all in the money logging out. Come on, come on. Do it, baby, do it, baby. Do it, baby, do it, baby. Do it, baby, do it, baby. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you. I'm living my best life. Ain't going back and forth with you.
You got a lot to be smiling for. So what the f you be wildin' for? Come on, I get my grin on. I'm smiling, cause I always get my win on. I've been on so many different stages. Graced the cover of 100 magazine pages. Maybe.
So before we get started, I just want to say that Neptune is a really good friend of mine. She's actually been coming to Black Girl Magic for 3 years consecutively. So can we give her up for that? So she was literally here when we first started our first Black Girl Magic event, and we didn't have as much people in this room. So thank you for staying with us and sticking with our organization. She has an Instagram as well. You can follow her on Instagram at Neptune's Quest if you want to see any other cute hair styles, and she also has a YouTube channel. So if you guys are ready, she's going to start.
Okay, so really quick, since it's really quick, I'm just gonna give her like a quick, like, cute protective style. I'm gonna put her hair up into a bun, and then I'm just gonna add this little Kinkalon hair extension and wrap it up, and it's just gonna be super cute, and you guys will see.
Ice water, turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, felt the magic. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it. Niggas undercover. I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other. Now that all the dogs free. And we out in these streets. Can you do it? Can you pop it for me?
Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z. It's that Z. Pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z. It's that Z.
Blow the brains out the coop. Polly one on top, but I'm on mute. I'ma bust her wrist down cause she cute. Her on the yacht, I been on pool. She an addict for the lifestyle in the paddock. Daddy, have you ever felt Chanel fabric? I be dripping to death, I need a casket. And we got more strikes in the rough, we foul tech 'em. In the middle of the field like David Beckham. I'm locked up for real, I'm trying to help 'em. When I got a meal, got me the chills, don't know what happened. Pop, pop, do what you feel, I'm on that zombie. I'm more like a Gaddafi, I'm not no Gandhi. I'm more like I'm David Goliath running. Be cloning, I find it funny. Clone, we finna know, straight out the dungeon. Hey, I go in the mouth, it costing me nothing. 300 the watch, it's out of your budget. Mean muggin' got me clutching. Yeah, and the stick right out of Russia.
Real, give up about it. Big Birkin bag, hold 5-6 figures. Right on my, but we call it nigga. Known as scam it rich. Same group of they don't add into the picture. Drop a couple rights, watch this get bigger. Drinking, I'm licking at your. If it's money, why eat me? Eat it like a sneaker. I ain't got time for you fake. Talking all loud in them fake clothes. Fake shoes, but they fake. Oh, I'm the realest, never sleep snake. Act up, you could get snatched up. Act up, you could get snatched up. Act up, you could get snatched up. Dirty, yes, baby girl, you need to back up. It's your Miami and I can't run my sack up tight. To my page tryna track us. Brand new chain, city girls going platinum. I keep a baby block, I ain't. Gone for a swim. Dunk on him, now I'm swinging off the rim. Jay coming off the bench, while I'm coming off the court fully drenched. Here goes some haterade, get your thirst quenched. Style on him in this Burberry trench. These birds copy every word, every inch. But gang got the hammer and the wrench. I pull up in that $250,000 off the lot. Oh, now she tryna be friends like I forgot. Show off my diamonds like I'm signed by the rock. Ain't pushing out his baby's telly by the rock. Hey yo, I been on, you been con. Bentley tints on, Fendi prints on. I mean I been storm, X-Men been form. He keep on dialing Nicky like the prince on. I been on, you been con. Bentley tints on, Fendi prints on. Hey yo, I been off, Laura been Croft. Play say Chang Lee, drop the Benz off.
We ain't talking a minute, so don't hit me up. And I mix my feelings with prescription drugs. When I fell to my knees, you ain't pick me up. When I was down on my back, you say ain't rich enough. And we ain't gonna talk about no sex, cause you ain't get it up. And I don't want you to suck my cause you ain't spent enough. You want ungrateful look, say I ain't spent enough. told me you want your shots cause you ain't thick enough. I'm in the trenches with the sharks, I ain't have a heart. Some nights I ain't wanna talk, I left you in the dark. You was lurking on my page, you became a narc. You was writing me back, that shit went too far. And I carry you on my back like I ain't have a car. You was kinda mad, I hang with murderers. You Instagram famous, but you not a star. Instagram famous, but you not a star. I made you, took you out the hood and I saved you. Why the motherfuckers tried to play you? You ungrateful, you ungrateful. You I ain't wanna label, I ain't wanna label. I ain't tryna be your friend or your man or your husband. I don't wanna label.
I wanna slim fine woman with some pork with her.
Throw that. She wanna twerk it. Take that. Bounce that. Do it, baby. Stick it, baby. Move it, baby. Lick it, baby. Suck up on that chicken to that. Got a hickey, baby. Watch big. Coulda brought a Range Rover. Chain little, but I spent some change on it. Man, I'ma put the gang on him. They'll dab on me. They'll bang on him. In that air, poke out the frame on him. So good, he got my name on it. Itty pretty on the.
Okay, so this is just like a quick, easy style. If I had more time, I would like brush it out more, but like pretty much like if you want a protective style, if you want something where you just want to leave your hair alone and not, do too much manipulation, I would say that this is a cute protective style. If you have a satin scarf, lay your edges down, keep it intact, and there you go.
So cute. Alright, let me vlog because I definitely didn't vlog.
Okay, take a room.
Here, babe. And we got media bag.
So now we can open it up for more questions. Did you guys like the hair tutorial? I know a lot of y'all was getting at me last year because there was like, I don't have edge control that's gonna like curl up my edges. I need to learn how to do that. So I hope you guys took some tips and you guys know what to do. Are we ready for another raffle? Nah, y'all not excited. Y'all not ready. We're gonna save that for later because that didn't sound like y'all was excited.
She ready.
So I remember some other people had questions that they wanted to ask the panelists. You wanna ask your question? Oh, she would. I remember. Yeah, she remembered. Oh, she wrote it down.
Oh, yeah.
Like strategies and study habits, and like I'm currently like I'm good with school as like Tatiana. You said you like school and I like school and all. The only thing I'm having trouble with is the exam part, like my exam. I feel like that's really bringing down my grade, and like, I wanted to learn like some tips or strategies you did for studying.
What's your major?
Psychology.
Psychology. Okay, so I feel like when it comes to exams, like I'm very passionate about this, by the way. So I'm very passionate about this. Definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm uploading a video next Monday, I believe, on how to study for, because finals is coming up, how to study specifically for different classes, and I'm doing like research on it so I can like, it could be for everybody, but definitely when it comes to exams, you have to know how the exam is going to be first. Because as a pre-med student, we have different types of exams. We have practical exams, and there's a different way you study for a practical than you study for a regular multiple choice exam or a written out exam. So first things first, you have to know what the exam is going to be on. Ask from like your past, like people that have taken the class before. Teachers sometimes give little hints here and there. Make sure you write that down like on like the first page, how the exams are going to be. You've taken like probably 2 exams already, so you already know the structure of the exam. And then when you get that information, there are different ways that you can use that to specifically study. For example, for what I do personally, my teacher, like for my neuroscience class, he was very big on taking information from the PowerPoints and putting that on the exam. But my biochemistry teacher, I don't know where she gets the information from, so I know I have to know everything, So for neuroscience, I would go through the PowerPoints and have a Quizlet on the next page, and all the important information, I'll just put it straight into the Quizlet and create a multiple choice exam, basically from that PowerPoint on the Quizlet, and I'll be using that to study. And you always want to,
That's hard.
Listen, it's a sacrifice. Nothing's gonna be easy. Like if you want an A, it's gonna be hard. But yeah, so you're gonna do that.
I wasn't trying to be rude, by the way. I was trying to be rude. But yeah, you're gonna do that for like classes that are coming from the PowerPoint. It's easier that way because you're seeing the information in question form, and you're able to use. It's basically like a flashcard. You guys know how Quizlets are, but a lot of people don't know that you can create your own Quizlets. So you can create your Quizlet and have the actual information so you're knowing it like off the top of your head. And you want to start studying early. Like as the information is coming, my parents have always taught me to study ahead. So it's kind of hard when it comes to college because everything is so fast paced, but you want to make sure that you're on point. Like you want to know the information first before you study. A lot of times college students study the information in college studying, but you're learning the information 3 or 4 days before the exam. So you want to learn the information, then study. The way the mind works is the more you repeat it, the more the memory is processed, and solidified in your brain. So you want to have that in repetition. When it comes to like the biochemistry class that I was talking about where I have no idea where she gets information from, you have to be able to know the information like the back of your hand. So it comes with extra research. Like my teacher will give us the PowerPoint, and then the PowerPoint is like the basic info, like the complete basic stuff. And then I would have to go and use outside information, outside resources to further understand the information. It's one thing to understand it, and it's another thing to try and just do well in the exam. Once you understand the information, there's no question that can be asked. You can ask it, it can be asked backwards, left, right, and you already know the answer. So definitely use different resources. It's kind of like the end of the semester now, but in the beginning of the semester, after the first exam, I know which classes I need to use. Like, I have a Biochemistry for Dummies book because, listen, I was a dummy, so I needed that book. But you can also find information. Google is like your best resource, and Khan Academy, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm so confused when it comes to other majors because I literally only know science. But Khan Academy, there's different YouTubers that go in depth with information, and it's also nice to like be able to hear it from somebody else that's not your teacher. And then another tip I have for you is to teach it to somebody else. Connecting different pathways. I'm talking like a neuroscientist, but connecting different pathways, like from speaking to understanding, allows you to solidify the information in your head easier. So being able to repeat it and for somebody to understand that has no idea what you're talking about is the best way to understand. So psychology, I feel like with psychology, it's similar to like neuroscience because it was similar stuff. And it helped me trying to teach my roommates because my roommates didn't know what I was learning, but by the time I was finished talking to them, they completely understood, and they were quizzing me, asking if I understood, So it's different strategies for different classes, basically. But definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel because I got you with the study tips.
I wanted to add something. One thing that helped me a lot was to find out what classes that you can like record in. Like if they speak really fast, voice record that, all right? And then put your headphones in, listen to it while you're walking through classes, while you're waking up in the morning. And if they, like their speech, if it isn't that good, just repeat it, record yourself doing it, and then listen to yourself doing it. That helped me so much.
Yes. So is there anyone else who has any other questions? Just also keep in mind, I know everyone's asking questions to Ruby. She'll definitely be here after to answer any personal questions if you are a biomed major, but for those who aren't and who have any other questions, you can ask them as well. Yes?
So mine was great. Okay, so my question is, earlier you touched it, I'm kind of like finding your box, right, like where you fit, because you're either not too dark to identify as black, but not to like to identify as like white or
Yeah, you don't really know where you're supposed to be.
Which one you're supposed to be.
Right.
Have you gotten any backlash, being that you do work with ET, about this? Because from my personal experience, that I'm trying to like get more involved into kind of like my roots, my culture. I get sometimes like, oh, girl, you're not even black. So I'm like,
Yeah, like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
yes.
Right.
Have you gotten any backlash?
No, surprisingly, I don't, and I feel like I don't receive backlash because when I speak about black issues, I never say, so African Americans, I say we, because I know I'm included in there. So when you start to change like your speech and how you like identify yourself to other people, I feel like people just, catch on to that. So I have not experienced that, thankfully. And that's something that I was very concerned about as well, because people look at me and they're like, oh, she's Spanish. And I am, but like, I'm also black. But I've also had people look at me and like, you not black. And that irks me. Like, it irks me to the core because, like you said, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You're damned if you say you're black, and then you're damned if the people are like, oh, but you're Spanish, so technically you're black. Your roots are black. And like, yeah, okay, so cool. Like, so when it comes to that, people are always gonna find, you know, something to say about it. But I would say, like, you know, study your history and just pay attention to how you self-identify and how you word things when you talk about certain issues. Make sure if you're talking about like black issues, you include yourself in that conversation. You say we, because her problem is your problem.
We're just gonna cut it to a raffle because I know you guys are waiting, and then we're gonna take some more
Wait,
questions.
can I say one more thing?
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay, sorry. But since we're on this topic, I just want to say, like, I know everybody here is still in school and they're still figuring it out, but as people of color, it's so important for us to make sure we use our resources that we have here. Like, John Jay is such a good school. Use these resources while you're here. Intern, do what you have to do, because that is the only way we're gonna break the generational curses we come from, whether it's poverty or like racism and stuff like that. Make sure you're using your resources, because you might not know what you want to do, but when you're done with these 4 years, real life is going to hit you fast. So make sure you know what you want to do, or at least have some sort of ideas so you could plot and move, because our parents and our parents' didn't have resources, so they kind of had an excuse. We have no excuse at this point. Like, we have all the resources right in front of us. There's nothing in your way but you. So I just want to like really express that. Please use your resources while you have it, and that is the only way we're gonna start leveling up and doing what we have to do in our own communities, is starting with yourself. So please don't get in your own way.
Thank you so much for that, Chris. She was dropping gems. I hope y'all wrote that down. John Jay especially, John Jay students, I cannot stress that enough. We got so many resources. You want to be a lawyer, an actress, you want to be anything, you name it, John Jay has somebody somewhere for you to connect.
And this school, like, the name itself holds weight. Like, I was born and raised in this neighborhood before it got bougie. I was born and raised in this neighborhood, so I would walk past John Jay like, I'm gonna go there one day until I seen the tuition. But that's, so you guys are here, like, take advantage while you have it. Like, squeeze every penny out of it. Like, interning, tutors, all of it, get it all. And like she said, if you gotta hit record, you pay tuition, right? You better hit record in that class.
You pay for that class.
You pay for that class.
Thank you so much. She's really dropping gems. I hope y'all was listening. But as we said, we're moving on with the raffles. One thing that Black Girl Magic, as it is our 3rd annual event, we are very privileged to have people who are willing to sponsor us when it comes to our raffles, and we're very fortunate. So our first raffle, we would like to shout out Trish, who sponsored her lashes from her line, Lash Musician. I don't know if she wants to come up so she can pick the raffles. Would you mind? Do you want to come up? Yeah, come up. Okay, so let's give it up for her. She sponsored her lashes and she's giving it out to you guys. So I think it's only right that she picks out the winners. So we're gonna pick out 4 of them. So DJ, can you play some music? You don't have to dance, but I mean, I think it will be nice because, you know, we're here. It's spring break, so let's give it up for that. It's spring break, so if you want to let it out, Shiggy, like whatever you want to do, let it out. Let it out, sis. Yes, it's Thirsty Thursdays, y'all. Anyways, she's gonna read out the next number. So the winner is.
All right, the first number is 37 90 64 9.
Nobody?
37 90 64 9.
Congrats!
Bend over, practice for the word.
Oh, okay. You better get your lashes, girl.
For the word,
I hope the next person got the same energy. Next winner is.
Okay. Next person is 37 90 65 3.
Is that anyone? Nobody? Do we want to repeat it again?
She's next. Okay. Next person is 37 90 57 1.
No. Come on, girl.
37 90 62 3.
Get your lashes. Get it. Give it to me.
Get those lashes.
You know what? Matter of fact, let's make this even more interesting. So you're gonna choose one lucky lady in the audience to give it to. So play some music and you choose one lucky lady.
We already made this deal, sis. You late. I'm the lucky lady.
Oh, she said no other lady. Okay, come on. Okay. So you can choose one lucky lady to give your lashes to. Oh, I guess it's her. Sorry, guys. Okay, next winner.
All right, this is the last one. 37 90 58 1.
Nobody? Oh,
next one.
Oh, wait, it's you?
37 96 10. Me on Instagram at lashmagician_. So we have 7 different pairs of lashes. They're all pretty good prices. Like, I mean, real good prices. Like, I'll buy my own lashes if it wasn't my lashes. So yes, definitely follow me on Lash Magician. Well, Lash_magician on Instagram. Okay, guys? Tell me, you guys can DM me if you guys are at John Jay, because I'm going to set up a John Jay code tonight. So you guys can get some discount lashes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, in the spirit of supporting Black businesses, HASA at John Jay, we are really supportive of that, and we're thankful for all of our sponsors who helped us out for our event. So as we're giving out the raffles, we're gonna have a section. If you do have a Black business that you would like to shout out and you want us to follow you, we will do so. We have our social media assistant from HASA who's part of our event planning committee. She'll tag you in our post. You can follow us on jjc.hasa and you'll see all the Black businesses that we'll tag tonight. Okay? So we're gonna give out the next raffle. Does anyone have any pressing questions for the panelists? No? Okay. You guys can talk to them after, but I think you guys are just ready for the panel and the food, right? So we'll give out another.
I think we're also
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, shit.
I know you don't care. Okay. So we have one more raffle for you guys.
Oh, they somebody played up.
Oh, I guess you can show it. So we're gonna show you guys what you guys will be getting. Oh, hair products galore.
Well, I'm gonna wrap up.
So you got a whole bunch. You got hair, we got makeup, we got skin products all in one. You'll be set for Curl Fest, everything. Essence Fest, everything. Are you guys ready to win? Can I hear you guys make some noise?
The one that wins has to dance.
So, as request from Neptune's Quest, she said if you win, you have to dance. So I'm sorry if you don't like to dance, that'll be...
3790572. Three seven 3790572.
Hold on. What's up, say Mata Killer? Keisha. Let we go down.
On the people, man. On the people, man. On the people, man.
All right.
On the people, man. Let's go. Back it up on the people, man. Back it up on the people, man. Back it up on the people, man. Now, whoa. Back it up on the people, man. Back it up on the people, man.
We have our last raffle of the night, and this one is a very special treat. So Ruby has been talking about her planners throughout the panel. She's been talking about her planner, so she's going to actually raffle off 100% discount off of her academic planner that's coming out in August. So let me hear some noise if you guys are excited. Who's feeling lucky? Do they have to dance? They don't have to dance. They don't have to dance?
If you want to dance, I would love it, but you don't have to.
Okay, so she's not forcing you guys, but we like to see you guys
No, they
dance.
should dance.
So she's gonna call out the winner. Pull out your raffles.
So the number is 379-0581. Nobody? All right.
Oh, you guys are fancy.
Right. 379-0565. $379-0565. But I also have good news for you guys. So, June, when my planner launches, I don't know if there's an email list you guys have?
we do. We have a list.
Okay, so I'll send an email list and you guys will all get 30% off. The code will be John J and it'll be specifically for all of you guys.
Okay, guys. So before we end, if there are any people in the audience who do have any black businesses that we'd like to shout out before we end, we'll give you the point for you to do that, and you guys can follow them, and then we're going to get some food, and if you guys want to talk to the panelists, you can. And we thank you guys for coming out to Black Girl Magic. We really are very supportive of those who support our events. I'm sorry, can we just get a little quiet, please? Can we be quiet in the back? As one of the very few black clubs on John Jay's campus, like Casa really strives to be able to do things not only for the Haitian community, but for the black community at large. And we thank you for the many support that we've been receiving this semester, for our event planning committee members, for these wonderful ladies who responded to our emails, and for everyone who's just been giving us support. And if you guys want to continue to see events like this, please support us. Please let our coordinators know that you guys enjoyed these events so we can have it on even grander scale next year. Okay, guys, thank you. Make sure to follow us, JJC Hassa, on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, so all of this is being recorded. We're going on YouTube. Not many orgs do that, so yes, let's give it up for that. So if you do have any, what'd you say?
Can I come on my business?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. We're gonna, you can come up here, and then we'll, yeah. Oh, okay.
My name is Allison. I know a lot of y'all tired of your mother's house. Y'all tired of your mom's house. I'm a real estate agent. So
Yeah.
your mother's house, give me a call. It's new. It's starting, but my Instagram is Ali G Realty, ALLEY, G Realty, REALTY.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Naika. I specialize in custom wigs and custom colors, so if you need a new wig, a new color, I'm the one for that. I had some business cards on the table out front and a little, like a little flyer. Well, my Instagram is Nai Finesse, so NAI.FINNESSED. I am NAI period FINNESSED. I'm also a John Jay student, so if you DM me, you need a wig, you need a color, I'm the one for that.
I think like she was like, oh my god. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, that's not it. Damn, what's that girl's?
Hi everyone, my name is Ismail Oriental. My twin is right there, Elodie. She actually goes here. I go to Hunter, but I'm always here. So we have Instagram. Our Instagram is Oriental Twins Hair _ ORIENTAL Twins Hair _ And basically, just like our sister here, we do wigs, we do braids, we do crochet, we do everything. So supporting you, I'm gonna follow you. But like, listen, like follow both of us. Like come to everything. We do more braiding, but we still do wigs. We do color. Y'all see my hair right now, looking good. Be honest, like, be honest. You gotta look like your brand. But yeah, so please do follow. We will have discounts and stuff. Cause we all struggling. I'm in college. I know it's tough. You wanna look good, but you still gotta pay tuition. You gotta pay books. So just hit us up. Thank you.
Oh, this special person that we have who's giving a shout out. I want to give a shout out to this beautiful young lady right here. So if you guys know, for HASA, we have an event planning team, and we have a media team as well. So you see Mel's on the camera recording us for YouTube. Say hi, guys. And Melissa's responsible for all the photography and the beautiful images that we have. She's been faithfully rocking with us for 2 years. She does it unapologetically. Anytime that we need her, she's always willing to take pictures and not worrying about anything. So we really do thank you. So I really say support her as a young black woman who's doing her thing. She's doing her thing.
My Instagram is C Image Photography. So C, then IMAGE Photography with a IE at the end. And come find me, I have business cards.
So if you want those graduation photo shoots, you just want to take a photo shoot to look cute, Valentine's Day shoot, that's the girl that you want to contact. Is there any other black businesses in the audience that I missed out on?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You can shout it out from where you are.
No, I'm going.
Oh, can you? You can tell your friend to come up. Yeah. Okay, come up. Oh, yeah.
Hi, my name is Farida. I know summer's coming up, so you guys want to, show off your little bodies. I make crochet bathing suits, skirts, halter tops, and all that. So my Instagram is design, DESIGNED _ Hold on 1 second. But I know I put an underscore somewhere. 1 second, I'm sorry, y'all. All right, DESIGNED _ by BYRI.
Wait, say it again.
Designed _ by BYRI.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry. I am speaking for my best friend in the back. She's too shy to come, so she does hair. She does natural hair, and she just started. She got her cosmetology license last year, and I want you guys to support her. Her Instagram is girl, your hair is fly. So it's girl, your hair is fly, and yeah, thank you.
Hey y'all, so we're here, Vice President of Haitian Society at St. John's University and the Secretary of Haitian Society, St. John's University. So there's two things we really want to highlight. I'm with Propelled Media Mentorship Program, and if anyone here is around the ages of 16 to 21, you're of Caribbean or African descent and you have an interest in media or entertainment, please let me know because our third cohort is about to start off this June. We're accepting applications. Has anyone here heard of WEEN? WEEN Online, anyone?
Y'all better get into it if y'all want to be in entertainment.
Exactly. So this is WEEN, specifically made for Caribbean and African girls. It was started by a Haitian woman named Fabiola Jean, who works with the Haitian Times. That's my mentor. She's absolutely incredible. She couldn't make it today, but she definitely would love to hear this highlighted. Another thing is that me and my cousin Norelli, we were selected to be going to Italy from St. John's. They're going to be sending us there to pitch our businesses internationally. So in May 2017, I started my natural hair and body line, and what people really liked about it and why investors came to me was because I actually helped raise the GDP economy of Haiti by hiring 4 to 5 women in Haiti to re-irrigate the land and cultivate the crops over there. Thank you. And not only that, my grandma, before she passed away in '98, she left the school in an orphanage there. So the women that we select, they have their kids going to that school so that we could actually provide education, since there's really no public school education over there. So with the money that they get, they're able to send their kids to the school. So I use my platform as former Miss Teen Haiti International and my radio talk show on 91.5 FM to do this. And also, I'm with my cousin.
Yes, so this is my business partner. So I'm starting a nonprofit organization called Orientation pour Demain. Any Haitians out here, basically middle school, high school students who are in Haiti, we're flying them out here to pursue their career within college. So if they want to go to college, we set them up with mentors, ESL, to adapt with the American culture. So that's something that we're working on. So yeah.
Well, since we're talking about organizations, I'm going to promote myself as well. So I'm the co-founder of Fortune and Forks, which is a women of color empowerment dinner series. And every dinner we pick a different field and just bring women together who work in that field, who are constantly pushing the culture forward every day, even at their 9-to-5s, on and off camera. So we did one for women in media, we did one for women in finance, and then we did one for women in fashion. And we always have a guest of honor in addition to the women who work in those fields. And the guest of honor we had for fashion was Lindsay Peoples-Wagner, and she is the editor-in-chief of Teen Vogue. And then we intend to have stuff for, like, you know, women of color in law and so on and so forth. And then during those dinners, we open up seats to 2 women who are not in those fields, but who are looking to get into those fields. So if you guys don't follow me already, please, like, we're always looking for applicants to, like, help out and connect with, you know, our major guests of honors, or just, you know, women who work in that field as well. So if you don't follow me already, it's at KW Crystal Vega, and just shoot me an email. Like, I'd love to help you guys out.
What's the name of the program?
It's Fortune and Forks. It's a dinner series.
Okay, guys, so you guys heard it here.
Do a little plug real quick.
Oh, yes, no problem. Everybody plug your bread.
Natural Born Curls has an apparel line, so if you guys see my shirt, it says melanin. So if you guys are proud of your melanin, another one. We also have like other shirts, t-shirts, sweaters. If you're just really trying to rep your curls, rep your natural hair, rep your culture, we have women empowerment t-shirts there too. So if you're interested in that, just DM me or email me at contact@naturalborncurls. DM me on Natural Born Curls or something like that, and I'll send you guys a 25% off discount code strictly for John Jay, you know, everybody who came here. And also, if you guys are interested in growing your brand online, growing your social media platform, whatever it is, whether you want to be an influencer or just a brand with a strong community, I am doing one-on-one consultations. So if you're interested in that, interested in making an impact and growing a following and a community, hit me up and I'll help you guys one-on-one with that.
A last quick little plug. You guys can follow me on Instagram at Lavish Ruby. My YouTube is Lavish Ruby. But also follow my business page, Lavish Life Brand. We're going to be expanding, like I said before, anybody that wants to start a YouTube channel coming up. We have YouTube planners coming up specifically for YouTubers, how to plan out your content, like your film editing and sponsored stuff. And then we're starting a business planner coming up very soon, as well as the Lavish Life Business Academy, which is something similar, but it's specifically for starting a business and growing your business. So definitely follow the Lavish Life brand. And also, I wanted to let you guys know that I do have 2 planners here. I was going to give this away, but there's no point because it ends in July. So I am going to be giving you guys the discount code. But if you guys want to see the planners, I do have 2 of them here in the black as well as the marble, just in case you guys want to like flip through and everything before you guys actually purchase, if you guys are looking to do that.
Okay, so we have one last plug before we end the event, so let's give it up for her as she talks about her business.
So basically, I have 2 ventures right now. One, my first venture is that I'm starting on the IGTV thing. Basically a vlog of Caribbean culture. This spring break, I'll be going to Jamaica and I'll be documenting the carnival experience. As well as, I'm not sure when I'm gonna start it up again, but I will be doing makeup, so you could book your appointments and stuff. I do a good job, I think I'm good at it. So my Instagram is honeypoppin, and it's HONEYY.POPPIN. So you guys can follow and like just watch the videos and support and stuff, and when I do the makeup stuff again, you guys can see, and if you're interested, you know, book your appointments. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Last thing that we have to say, if you did receive a raffle ticket and you were part of the first 15, we're going to start the, yes, you have a sticker on your raffle ticket, so it is special. You can see someone in the back for you to be able to receive your raffle ticket. We also have food here for you guys to enjoy. We're going to have some music so you guys can connect and, you know, talk to everybody. And thank you for coming out for Black Girl Magic.
Trying to go round the thing,
Patricia, once up, please come to the front. Once up, Patricia Sierra, please come to the front. Once up, Patricia Sierra, please come to the front.
She living it up and she out there, doing it with no fear. Hey, bubble your body for the up top boss. Fat, baby, your top class. Jump up, let's say you're upstart. Jump on me, you're top notch. Every girl a drop. She proud for me, not hard. When me done
a raffle ticket and you were part of the first 15, we're gonna start the, yes, you have a sticker on your raffle ticket, so it is special. You can see someone in the back for you to be able to receive your raffle ticket. We also have food here for you guys to enjoy. We're gonna have some music so you guys can connect and, you know, talk to everybody. And thank you for coming out for Black Girl Magic.
Trying to go round the thing, trying to
Patricia,
go round
what's
the
up?
thing,
Please come to the front.
Instagram youth.
What's up, Patricia Sierra? Please come to the front.
Now the world youth. So we don't
What's
care.
up, Patricia Sierra? Please come to the front.
She living it up and she